to the legislature, they are there for a period of 5 years. Each and every 5 years, you will recall that we go to election. So this year around May, we had elections. So we're electing the members of the provincial legislatures. So what is it that we do at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature for a period of 5 years? We derive our we have 4 mandates that the Constitution gives us. They are written there. It's lawmaking, oversight, public participation, and cooperative governance. By lawmaking is found under Chapter 6 of the Constitution, paragraph 114. It states that the legislature has the powers to consider, pass, amend, or reject any bill before the legislature and initiate or prepare a legislation except money bills. This means that the people that we voted for and were deployed by various political parties have the power to make laws, and the laws that they make are only applicable within the boundaries of Gauteng. So you might find that we passed a law here which was initiated by a member of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature or a member of the Executive Council, which is the Premier and MECs, which is applicable for Gauteng. So when you go back home to Limpopo or Eastern Cape or wherever, you will find that the laws might not be the same. But because it is because we have a constitutional obligation and authority to make laws which only govern the province of Gauteng. So the laws must be different, can be different, it depends on what the law seeks to address. So it is only the members and the MECs and the Premier who can initiate a bill. So a bill, before we have what we call a law, it starts as a bill. A bill is a proposed piece of legislation. But we have the opportunity, as mandated by the Constitution, that whenever they are preparing a bill, they must consult with the people, because that law will be applicable to us, it will be enforced to us, and therefore we must also have a comment on that bill. The second mandate is oversight. Oversight, this means that we are responsible for monitoring the work of government. The legislature has a mandate to ensure that government does its work. So the Premier and the 10 MECs, they come and account to the legislature. At the beginning of every year, there's what we call a State of the Province address. It is an address which is delivered by the Premier. He outlines the priorities of his government for the following year and what he's planning to do in terms of service delivery. For instance, if the Premier says, I am planning to intensify the fight against crime, and then we will monitor what have you done in terms of intensifying the fight against crime. The Premier maybe will say that I have introduced Amapanya as one of the strategies to fight crime. It's just an example. We also have at the legislature portfolio committees. The portfolio committees are linked to government departments. If you have on the executive branch, if you have a Department of Education, when you come inside the provincial legislature, you will find a portfolio committee on education. That portfolio committee is solely responsible to oversee the work which is being done by the department, which is led by the NEC. So the department reports to that portfolio committee, and then that portfolio committee will scrutinize their performance. The third mandate is derived from Chapter 3 of the Constitution. It is cooperative governance. Cooperative governance says that we must make relations with the various stakeholders, such as your businesses, your government departments, your municipalities, your state agencies, your state organs, your state entities, your NPOs, and the citizens of Gauteng. We must join hands together. We must join hands and work together to ensure that there's adequate delivery of services to the people of Gauteng. That is what cooperative governance says. It means that we must always collaborate to ensure better results in terms of service delivery. The last mandate is public participation. This mandate is derived from Chapter 6 of the Constitution under Section 118. It says that a legislature must facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the legislature and its committees. Once the Constitution says must, it means we are obligated to perform that function. It's not a matter of we feel like doing it. We must do it. So this means that the legislature in its businesses, it must make sure that our house sittings, our committee meetings are open and accessible to the public, because we are here to serve the people of Gauteng, and therefore they must have access to our information and what we do at the legislature. So we have various public participation mechanisms. We have public education workshops where we go into communities and educate our people about the governance processes of South Africa, about the roles of the legislature, and also how you can get involved in the legislature. We have your sectoral parliaments. The sector parliaments, we host sector parliaments to address issues affecting a specific sector. We know that we have various sectors across the society. We have your senior citizens, you have your LGBTQI plus community, you have your workers, you have your children's sector parliament. So we cover almost all the sectors. We deal with issues which are affecting the sector. So the sector parliament will take form of a normal sitting where people will address each other as honorable members and table the challenges facing that particular sector. At the same time, recommend what is it that can be done to help fix their problems. You don't just give us problems, but you give us possible solutions. In those sector parliaments, the executive is present as well. So it's either the premier will be there or an MEC. It depends on what we are talking about on that particular sector parliament. We also have public hearings. Remember, I said that when we want to pass a bill, we must try to engage the citizens. It is a constitutional mandate that when we want to pass a bill, we must first come to you and get your inputs and incorporate your inputs in the bill, because you know, when you engage citizens, you might get new ideas because there are so many experiences and expertise on the ground, and therefore we can be committed through public hearings. So we also have petitions. We allow for petitions to, for the people to submit petitions. If you have a service delivery challenge in your area, you can petition to us. But before you do that, we must see that you first inquired at a local level, you engaged with the councillor, you engaged with the mayor, and then there was no response. You cannot just jump to us because there's a pothole in front of the house, but you must engage a ward councillor, and then if there was no response, then you start escalating it. So I have information on what I'm talking about that you can read at home. So when we are at, when we're having a break, a lunch break, you will come at the table right there, and next to the gentleman wearing a red t-shirt there.